As the Central Bank of Nigeria's Naira redesign policy bites harder, the scarcity of new notes continues to disrupt business activities in Nigeria. On the local scene, the network of elected women councillors of Benin presented its best wishes for the new year to the president of the National Association of Benin Communes. A magnitude of 7.8 earthquake knocked down multiple buildings in southeast Turkey and northern Syria. Good afternoon, our dear viewers. Welcome to the 1 p.m. news edition, coming to you live and direct from Golfe AFRICA here in the city of Cotonou with Hazel OGOIGBE. Now to the news in detail, starting from the local scene. The Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries was at Donatin on Saturday morning for an annual release of small turtles. Now organized by a non-governmental organization called Nature Tropical with the communities of this district. The activity was part of the celebration of the 19th edition of the National Day for Marine Turtles. More information in the following commentary. The non-governmental organization Nature Tropical and the people of Donati joined hands to release baby turtles into the sea on Saturday morning in Cotonou, Benin Republic. This was on the occasion of the 19th National Day for Marine Turtles. The event was an opportunity to salute the first decision taken in Benin a year ago to create the marine protected areas of Donati and the King's Mouth. The National Day for Marine Turtles is an opportunity to salute and raise public awareness on the protection of these species and the actions of eco guards. Thanks to the actions of the non-governmental organization, fish species in general no longer suffer sad fates on Benin's coast, and the APRM, despite its busy agenda, was keen to show its support by taking part in this activity in view of its importance to the entire nation. The involvement of the authorities in the protection of fish species is clear. The support of the population for the fight of the non-governmental organization Nature Tropical is strongly encouraged in order to achieve the development of alternative income-generating activities for the local population in Benin Republic. Still on the local scene, considering the accident phenomenon that occurred in Benin Republic, Golfe AFRICA interviewed an evangelist and he had this to say considering and concerning the incident.
Je voudrais d'abord dire que le phénomène des accidents n'est pas particulier au Bénin. C'est, disons, un phénomène qui est récurrent.
The accident phenomenon is not streamlined to Benin. It is a recurrent phenomenon in all the countries of the world. On the spiritual level, I would like to say that the Word of God says that it is God that watches over the city, the spirit, soul, and the body of all those that lives in the city. When the Lord of hosts does not watch over a city, those that watches over it watches it in vain. When the builders build a house and do not see God as the foundation pillar, the house will scatter. A lot of people do not understand that the best solution is gotten from God. Today, many are using the occultic word as a reference, talking about voodoo, the kinetic deity, and all the fetish things. When I went to make inquiries, I was referred to those that serve Canesi, and these people drink nothing but blood. But these people, they do a lot of sacrifice which will lead to accidents. This means that we need to return to the ancient practice, that is, consulting God for everything we have to do when talking about our well-being, our health, and every other thing.
Still talking about the accident scenario, a priest was of the opinion that men were created in the image and likeness of God, but because we disconnected from God, that is why this calamity befalls us.
Les accidents, tout ce qui se passe aujourd'hui, ça fait partie des crises multiformes. C'est la crise multiforme c'est un état de quoi à l'accomplissement.
Everything that's happening today is part of multiple crises, and it is even fulfilling the apostolic predictions. The multiple crises is happening in various sectors. We have social crisis, economic crisis, security crisis, spiritual crisis too, and all of these crises are astonishing to me. Humans are now asking questions. We're asking, is it the end time? Does God want to take account? These crises are occurring because man have turned away from the reasons we are created. We are created in the image and the likeness of God. We are comfortable when we are in God. So if man disconnects from his source, man will not be able to efficiently live a spiritual life. Everything that is happening is very justified. We have put everything in the hand of Satan. Then we say that it is Satan that does all. That is why all this negative thing is happening to us. Temptation came our way, but sadly, we did not overcome them.
I had a conversation with Barrister Ngozi Njoku, the woman leader for Labour Party in Imo State, one of the 36 states in Nigeria, and she put true light on the pertinent conversations and answered some pertinent questions considering the elections that are just countdown from now. More information in the following interview. Good day, dear viewers. You're tuned in to Golfe TV Africa. In the studio, I am joined by Barrister Mrs. Ngozi Njoku. Now, she's the Peter Obi campaign woman leader in Imo State, Nigeria, one of the 36 states in Nigeria. Now, Peter Obi is the presidential candidate for the Labour Party, and also Barrister also served in Imo State government from 2007 to 2019 as a two-time Commissioner of Women Affairs, and she was also the Commissioner for Health. Afterwards, she served as the first ever Director General of the Imo Foundation. She's now the woman leader of Peter Obi's campaign in Imo State. Good day, Barrister. How are you doing this beautiful day?
Good day, my dear. God bless you.
All right, Barrister, let's get straight to business. Now, some people are of the school of thought that Labour Party is just an online movement constituting of angry Nigerian youth looking for a way to express themselves on the failure of the Nigerian nation. Now, what are your thoughts towards this opinion?
Well, I think that opinion is more destructive than productive, in the sense that, for me, I think the Nigerian youth deserve every commendation, because for the very first time, they used the social media to bring out what has been on, the ills of the society, which everybody has been tapping upon as if nothing was happening. But because of the technology we have currently, the Nigerian youth were able to use that to bring out all this. For instance, when we talk about the quality of a leader that is sick, that has dementia, without the social media catching that light, catching the actor or the character of the leader, or the actions or the programs that the leader, the proposed person who's actually trying to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, are catching those things live and bringing them out through the social media. We wouldn't have known. Some people wouldn't have known. I tell you, for me as a mother, I congratulate Nigeria, and I tell them that they just our back. We're actually sorting what they are doing, because things that would lie low for a long time, they were able to play. And so for me, it is highly commendable that the youth will have proactive use that have played this role to the social media. So for anybody to have an opinion that what they have done is wrong, or to be derogatory, I think we're not being fair to them. But for me, I believe that they should be congratulated, and they have done quite a lot in this regard.
One of the major grudges against the Labour Party is also that the party lacks structure, and the Labour Party is built around the presidential candidate Peter Obi. Now, what are your thoughts on this statement?
My thoughts are this. First of all, we ask ourselves, are we talking about somebody that can lift Nigeria? What is the issue at stake? Is the issue at stake that of a political party, or about liberating Nigerians from shackles of poverty, from liberating Nigerians, or from making our country great again? We're able to answer that question and know what actually is the stake. Is it about political party? Political party is only, a process. It's only a structure through which any candidate emerges. And once you do that, but in any case, for now, it's important for us to know that what we are in now is not about political party. It's not the normal politics. I've been part of politics for at least 3 decades now, but I tell you, it's a movement. It's a movement that says people are saying enough is enough. Enough of poverty, enough of criminality, enough of corruption, enough of things that make you feel ashamed that you are a Nigerian. Because there's enough is enough. It's a movement. And when the time for movement comes, don't talk about political party. I tell you, I receive calls from people that are not even politicians who tell you that on this day, they just go to their polling units and stand there and make sure that the correct thing is done. We have done it before in Imo State. In 2011, I tell you, even priests, Christian mothers, people that were not politicians, they stood in their polling units and ensured that the votes of the people counted. And this is another revolution, another thing that his time has come, that people are no more talking about. Put Peter Obi in a quick party, it's still the same thing. And he'll be voted in. So right now we are stepping down and even this politics. When you do the same thing, you get the old result, the same result. This time around, Nigerians are in distress. Nigeria is in distress. They are tired, and all they want is who will be the person to save them from this situation. And as God will have it, a person has been chosen, and that is Peter Obi. So it does not matter which party he belongs to. Even if there's no political party, I am telling you, they will still go by whatever rules the country has said, maybe the INEC has said, to vote him in. So my dear sister, I want people to realize that what we're talking about now is not political party. We're not going to cook soup with political party. What we want is somebody that can help us to live as human beings the way God has designed this for us and make Nigeria great again.
The African society is patriarchal in nature, simply meaning that there are some careers and there are some levels that women still find it challenging to attain the zenith in these various careers. Now, the women in Nigeria face different barriers in getting to the zenith of their political careers, and are there still positions that women till today, the 21st century, cannot attain because of their gender?
Africans really generally have gone through a struggle over cultural barriers, affecting women. But over the years now, we have passed through that too, because we've been able to produce people like Dora Akunyele, and her soul rest in peace. We're able to see people like Okonjo Iweala. So what I've concentrated, especially with the women leaders, is actually to empower more women, to groom them to know exactly what their rights are, what they can do to excel. And I think we are getting there. Well, I think what is short of it is that when we think about maybe getting a woman president, because really Nigerian women have come of age. We have actually shown that we can actually do it. And when you have a woman there, you have less of all this corruption. Even all over the world, you can see whenever you have women as prime ministers in various positions, you see things working out well in that country. So for me, I'm not one of those women that cry over empower us, do this. We have to empower ourselves, and we're actually doing that to groom women from the girl child to being a woman, letting them know what they have to do. And presently, as a woman leader, I tell you, this is not the time for me. What I design by the special grace of God, it's not to go and dance on podiums, singing, going on rallies. That's not what we're doing this time. It's a change, a paradigm shift from what we used to do. So this time around, we go to booths, we go to local governments, and it's like an academic exercise. Call it a trainer. We train them on how to vote. We train them on their rights as voters. We train them on the new system, all that the INEC has brought, the content of the new electoral act. We try to train women. By so doing, we have empowered them so that by the time they get to their various booths, nobody's going to intimidate them.
And that was Barrister Ngozi Njoku, the women campaign leader for Labour Party in one of the 36 states in Nigeria, Imo State. Crossing over to the foreign scene, a United States decision to shoot down a Chinese balloon that Beijing claimed had veered off course has seriously impacted and damaged relations between the two countries, China and the United States. Now, this was stated by China's foreign ministry, and the aircraft, which Washington said was a spy balloon, has spent several days flying over North America, leading the United States to call off a planned visit to Beijing by the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken.
The United States' decision to shoot down the Chinese balloon that Beijing claimed had veered off course has seriously impacted and damaged relations between the two countries, China's foreign ministry stated on Monday. The aircraft, which Washington said was a spy balloon, had spent several days flying over North America, leading the United States to call off a planned visit to Beijing by Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Washington on Saturday said a fighter jet had shot it down off the coast of South Carolina because of what is called Beijing's unacceptable violation of American sovereignty.
These balloons are so huge that even that number of ammunition set, that amount of ammunition set towards it, is only going to cause a very, very slow leak, and it's not going to come down immediately. You can't just pop the balloon and it's going to go away.
Beijing protested the move, claiming the balloon was a civilian aircraft that was blown off course, and on Sunday lodged an official complaint with the U.S. Embassy in China.
China's decision to fly a surveillance balloon over the continental United States is both unacceptable and irresponsible. That's what this is about. It's a violation of our sovereignty. It's a violation of international law. China, what this has done is created the conditions that undermine the purpose of the trip, including ongoing efforts to build a floor under the relationship and to address a broad range of issues that are of concern to the American people, I believe to the Chinese people, and certainly as well.
The United States' action has seriously impacted and damaged both sides' efforts and progress in stabilizing Sino-U.S. relations since the Bali meeting, Vice Foreign Minister Xing Feng said in the complaint, according to a foreign ministry statement. He was referring to a summit between President Joe Biden and Xi Jinping in November. The statement added,
Good afternoon, our dear viewers. You're still tuned into the 1 p.m. news with Hazel OGOIGBE, and this is a newspaper review segment where I get to touch stories on the African scene. Today, I just have 4 dailies. I have the Punch, I have This Day, I have the Guardian Post, and I have the Citizen Tanzania. Now, let's start with the Nigerian palaver that is trending, and it's still on the new Naira note. Now, governors and parties begin legal battle over CBN deadline on the pages of the Punch Nigeria. And the story reads, El-Rufai, Matawale, Yahaya Bello, they sue federal government and demand extension of the deadline of the new Naira note. Below that story, court backs parties and stops the Central Bank of Nigeria and Buhari from shifting deadline. And still on the pages of the Punch Nigeria, EFCC nabbed Abuja Bank manager holding 29 million naira new notes. Now, if you're following the news talking about the cacophony catastrophe that's been happening in Nigeria, there has been total chaos in the banking industry in Nigeria. Now, a lot of conflict is ensuing between bankers and customers because customers are of the opinion that bankers are actually holding the new Naira notes. Now, there's been a deadline put by the Central Bank of Nigeria saying at this particular date you would not be able to spend your old notes. And right now, customers are going to the banks and they realize there's no new note, and now there's a deadline. So at the end of the day, it's just a situation of chaos. Now, sadly, the situational report is saying that in Abuja, a bank manager was holding 29 million naira new notes when lots of Nigerians are sad, they are crying, they are going naked, they are hitting and beating themselves because they do not have access to the new notes. And the ones that actually have access to the new notes have had to pay for their money. Normally, POS would charge like 1%, but right now, POS all around Nigeria have increased their taxes and tariffs to like 400%. That is the situation of things in Nigeria. Now, moving to the world scene, it says, world mourns as earthquake kills over 2,700 in Turkey and Syria. May the soul of the deceased rest in peace. Crossing back to Nigeria, it says, thugs disrupt Rivers APC rally and destroy vehicles. And a sad one saying, man arraigned for burning wife and brother-in-law to death. What kind of human being is that? That is really, really sad and gory. Now, on the pages of the Punch, it says, Autumn shuns Atiku campaign and Ayu slams the government, on the pages of the Punch, and court stops Lagos International Airport concession. And the last story I'll take on the pages of the Punch Nigeria says, we will hunt down 16 Nigerian killers in Burkina Faso. Buhari speaking on the pages of the Punch Nigeria. Now, of course, I'm still on the Nigerian scene, crossing away from the Punch. Let's see the stories that are trending on the pages of This Day Nigeria. It's still talking about the naira scarcity that has become a national concern in Nigeria. Now, on the pages of This Day Nigeria, Peter Obi calls for calm, appeals to Nigerians to bear with the federal government and also the CBN. Peter Obi is the Labour Party presidential candidate. And it says, Aso Rock Cabal wants pliable successor to Buhari and Atiku. Tinubu has his history of appropriating public assets, on the pages of the This Day newspaper. And of course, still on the pages of the This Day, this story reads, interim government perish the thought, on the pages of the This Day Nigeria. And still on the This Day, talking about fuel scarcity, it says 64.3 million liters of petrol released daily. That is NNPC speaking on the pages of This Day. And the thing about fuel scarcity in Nigeria is Nigeria supplies fuel to a lot of African countries. Inadvertently, it's like when somebody that is sick, when the person coughs, the whole body is definitely going to shiver. So once there's scarcity in Nigeria, is inadvertently going to affect other countries. Right now, the price of fuel in Benin Republic has increased, making transportation tariff increase. Moving away from the pages of the This Day Nigeria, let's cross over to the pages of the Citizen Tanzania. Now, on the pages of the Citizen Tanzania, the top story trending is still talking about government and government policies. Now, on the This Day, on the Citizen Tanzania, the story reads, government acts to focus on IVF research and affordability, and stakeholders in the health sector have called upon the government to boost in vitro facility research in order to understand the scope of infertility challenges in Tanzania, as the high number of patients and the cost become a concern. Now, IVF simply means vitro fertility, and it's another means to, it's for people that are having challenges in giving birth. You can actually take the sperm of a man and take the egg of a lady and then put it into a machine, and this will lead to incubation and the baby could actually grow there. But the point is, this method is actually very expensive, leaving it as an option for only the rich and the educated elite. Now in Tanzania, they're saying the government really needs to look into it and to make it affordable, so that people that do not really have the means can also explore these options in order to help them have their own children. Now, still on the pages of the Citizen Tanzania, it says, banks engaged in mission to renovate and build embassies. Let me just move this up a bit on the pages. Okay. And this story says, peace security talks top EAC integration agenda. And now this says, Morocco to finalize talks on fertilizer facility. Tanzania and Morocco. That's one thing I'm really excited about in this present regime of President Samia. It's just really all about collaboration between East African countries and also her country, Tanzania, and other African countries. Because when you collaborate with your co-African countries, it's definitely going to be, it will increase bilateral relations, it will lead to profits, and then also it will encourage the African scenario to know that they can also add value to their co-African counterpart. Moving away from the Citizen Tanzania, let's now cross away from the Citizen. Let's see the stories that are trending on the pages of the Guardian Post Cameroon. Now, on the Guardian Post Cameroon, the top stories that are trending is talking about Biya. And it's saying, Biya appoints Antoine Belcher of National Sports Facility and Equipment. Still on the pages of the Guardian Post Cameroon, it says, Vision 4 TV boss Anwangwa Belinga arrested for alleged involvement. And the involvement is the killing of Martinez Zogo. His close collaborator Bruno Binjang, private security chief, also picked on the pages of the Guardian Post Cameroon. Still on the Guardian Post Cameroon, still talking about the death of Martinez Zogo. Suspect indicts regime baron and Reporters Without Border report. And a positive development still on female genital mutilation. Stakeholders call for change of mentality and involvement of men and women concerning ending female genital mutilation on the pages of the Guardian Post Cameroon. And our dear viewers, this is where I'm going to be concluding today's edition of the African Newspaper Review, coming to you live and direct from Golfe TV Africa here in the city of Cotonou with Hazel OGOIGBE. And I'm also going to be concluding today's news edition, coming to you live from Golfe TV Africa. Thanks for tuning in. I am Hazel OGOIGBE. Enjoy the rest of your day.